So I wanted to talk about FedEx briefly because it's one that I happen to pay attention to, not necessarily on a regular basis, but I've become pretty familiar with its price action, and so I just kind of keep an eye on it here and there. But before I get into that, welcome to my channel. I appreciate you guys for being here. What I do is I provide price action or information um, centered on price action. And it is my belief that when people better understand how to chart data, that they'll be able to make more informed decisions. So that's pretty much what I do here. If there are tickers or topics that you'd like for me to cover, feel free to leave them in the comment section, and I'll be happy to do my best to do that if I am able. Um, Check out my latest course, chartsandpriceaction.com. I partner with By the Hood on that, and basically we get into the nuts and bolts of price action and some practical psychology tips as well. So if you have any questions about that or any other of my offerings, feel free to let me know. And also read the information in the description box, contact, social media, and other offerings. But I'm gonna get into FedEx, so stick around for that. Okay, so this is pretty much what I've been looking at um, for FedEx on a long-term time frame. So this is a weekly chart. I'm gonna glance at the monthly chart, just right quick to see, what's going on. So nothing has changed in terms of the price action, and I marked this chart up a good while ago. Um, yeah, 2020 it looks like 2021, 2020, and 2021. I started to mark this chart up. And you can see I've been following it, ever since then. And so it's still trading in this flag, so you can clearly see where the buyers and the sellers are. But as I, get to lower time frames, I will talk about some specific numbers to keep an eye on with this ticker specifically. Let me remove some of these. Whatever. All right, so again, this is the weekly chart. You can see that it lines up with the monthly chart pretty much. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit here so we can talk about, demand and supply zones on this one. So FedEx, you can see it holds pretty strongly in the low 200s area. You can see there have been some times where it has dropped below 200, but it's short-lived. You know what I'm saying? So buyers really step in on FedEx in the low 200s, and even more so in the 200s, the 190s area. They really don't want this thing to fall below that. But what you can see is when FedEx bounces from this, when it hits this lower trend line, so this supply or demand zone, I'm sorry, it tends to pop up toward 210, and if it beats 210, it definitely goes to 220, pretty much every single time. So those are some areas that you can watch. So that 190 to 200 area, anytime it hits that 200 area, just looking to see if it holds. And if it does, then typically it pops up to 210. If it holds at 210, it goes to 220. And really, one of the big moves is if FedEx, anytime, now when I say anytime, I don't mean 100% of the time, but usually when FedEx is able to get above like 227, it shoots up toward 240. And then when it gets to 240, it comes back down. So that's where the supply zone really is on FedEx right now. So pretty much that 228 to 240 area is really where FedEx tends to sell off and come back down toward the low 200s area. So that's how I would play it for now. But I think that here, soon, sometime this year, FedEx is going to make a move, whether it be up or down. I'm not sure. Like I said, FedEx isn't necessarily something that I watch day in and day out. I would think that, as we get into move into the holiday season toward the end of the year, maybe there'll be some opportunity there. But some things that I would pay attention to are, some of those leading indicators like retail sales, and just anything that could possibly impact FedEx's business, whether it be positive or negative. Um, uh, what else can I say about FedEx? Um, Once FedEx is able to get above this 240 area, I think it's really going to go up toward over 250 and maybe even toward 265, 270, somewhere in there. That's a possibility. FedEx, it tends to be pretty volatile as well. Um, if you're in a situation where you're trying to day trade it, as long as you're on the right side of the trend, if you hold long enough, generally you'll be fine. But you just got to catch the move early enough. But those pullbacks can be pretty violent on FedEx when there's some profit taken. Um, but yeah, so FedEx has been trading in a range for a little minute now, and so until I see anything different, that's just it. That just is what it is. I'm just trying to clean up my chart a little bit here. All right, so yeah, but once FedEx is able to beat this area, so once it gets out of this about 200 to 230s range, whether that be up or down, be looking for a nice, decent move to the upside or the downside. But if let's see, if it breaks out again, like I said, 260s is possible eventually. But if it breaks down and not only breaks down, but is able to hold below 200, which it has not, as you can see, none of the weeks that FedEx has dropped below 200, it has not held on the weekly chart. So that's what I mean by it breaking down and holding. So we need a close below this 200s area on FedEx and a continuation on to the downside. But if that happens, then FedEx has a possibility of headed toward 170, in my opinion. But until then, I would just play this range. There's plenty of money or plenty of opportunity, in my opinion, in playing this range. It's a pretty wide range, in my opinion, for this stock. But I think that there's a possibility that volatility may start to decrease a little bit. But again, price is a leading indicator, so definitely pay attention to this price because people tend to know things before they come out in the news. But you be able to see that in the price action. So today's been a great week for FedEx so far. I see they've been shuffling their deck in terms of the board and their executive team. Raising dividends and things like that, but pay close attention to their costs. I know they were having issues with on the labor front. We know that gas is up, so those are just a couple of things that I would pay attention to, especially if I'm an investor in FedEx, which I am not, but still just something to a couple of things to pay attention to as far as how the company plans to overcome these challenges that it's been facing. Um, so um, yeah, so that's pretty much all I have to say about FedEx for now. Just pay attention to those supply and demand zones, and like I said, The major zones are, about 228 to 240 to the upside, so that's your supply zone, and then your demand zone is down in the low 200s and maybe even below 200, about 190 to 195 to 200. So just you can see it here on the charts. Just play the range until the range is broken and it forms a new range or whatever it decides to do. But right now, it just continues to kind of consolidate. In my opinion, the long-term technical thesis has not changed for me on FedEx. So until I see any changes there, I'm just pretty much going to maintain how I feel about FedEx right now. If you have any questions about any other tickers, feel free to let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next video.